Hello and welcome to the No Particular Order podcast, Thursday, October 23rd, or as and by way I mean me, like to call it, the Just Give a Shit podcast on the Going for Two network. Usually I am joined by two extremely handsome gentlemen, Ralphie and Shannon. Unfortunately, neither one of them can make it today, so you're stuck with me. And I will ramble on for 33 minutes and then we will get out in time for you to go do whatever it is you need to do for the rest of your day. If you're in Denver, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous fall day. So go out and do something that, not right now. The first thing I want to say is the underdog promo that you see right there. Proudly sponsored by Underdog. Use GFT in your promo code and get matching deposit up to $1,000. Capital G, capital F, the number two in the promo code, matching deposit up to $1,000. And this is something that I didn't know, and probably because I didn't gamble that much, and I still don't really gamble a lot. But your matching deposit, you have to spend. Like you can't, if you put 10 in and your matching deposit is $10, and for whatever reason you have let's say $15 and you want to take it out, you have to spend that $10 that's the match, which isn't, it's not a big deal because you're going to gamble and do it anyway. So go ahead, spend the $10, spend the $1,000 if you have $1,000 to spend. That would be just extremely awesome. Get on Underdog, and we'll talk about a prop tonight that I think is just ridiculously low. That you should probably go on Underdog and hit it up if this is your first time betting or if you are a seasoned bettor. But the one thing I want to talk about first tonight is today is October 24th. Have you voted yet? You need to get out and vote. Early voting has started. I don't care who you vote for. Well, that's not exactly true. I kind of care who you vote for. But what's up, Ramon? How are you, my friend? But whoever you vote for, just go out and do it. Early voting is now. You can go. I went and voted today in the little library that we vote in 5 points, and it was a seamless process. You can even turn in your ballot. You don't even have to go in if you don't want to. I particularly like to go in on what's up, Dynasty Football Key. I particularly like to go in on presidential elections, but you don't have to do that. You can turn in your ballot. Just go vote. Like I said, whoever you're going to vote for, just do it. If you don't vote, you can't whine. And everybody wants to whine. So just go vote. Do it. Please do it. Please do it. Now we're going to talk. Now I'm going to talk. I keep saying we because that's how I refer to me and my dogs. And they're here with me, but they're not going to be on the podcast. About articles that I have dropping tomorrow, Friday. I have 2 articles drop on the same day about 2 different things, which is really weird. But on the Going for Two network, I have a last call article, which is basically a premium play, meh play, and a don't do it play. And there's also included always a recipe for a drink. And this week, the recipe will be for a drink called Zombie. And I want to pre-warn you, and there will be a pre-warning in the article too, that this drink has 25% ABV, which is alcohol by volume. So this is a very alcohol-induced drink. And it's because last week, week 7, during the zombie apocalypse, as I like to call it, it was brutal. I had a team that only scored 32 points, like 32 total points was what my team scored. I don't even know how that's possible. I didn't even know that was possible. I kept trying to refresh the button because I didn't think it was possible. Of course, I had everyone that went down on that team, so it is possible. It can happen. It was the zombie apocalypse, but we're over it now. The recipe for the zombie is a rum-infused drink that you're going to love. You can make it. It's easy. And then I will also drop three players in that article. That one you should absolutely play, one who's nah, maybe and one who you should probably stay away from. But it's going to be hard. Everyone, they're just dropping like flies. It's so sad and weird. But Chris Godwin, brutal, dislocated ankle. Mike Evans, who tried to play through a hamstring injury, two gone from Tampa Bay's team right there. Um, Brandon Ayuk, who thankfully held out and got paid his guaranteed money, is out for the season with a torn ACL, and apparently some other ligaments got messed up there. Deebo Samuel has pneumonia or had pneumonia last week, and that's why he didn't play. And if anyone's ever had pneumonia, or I've never had pneumonia, but I've had friends that have it, he had water on his lungs. Now they're saying that he might be able to play this week, but that's a breathing thing. And I wouldn't, even if he goes out there, I would be very cautious about how you are going to utilize him. And I understand the wide receiving pool is getting very, very shallow, so you might have no other recourse. But I'm telling you, it's if he plays, if just even I don't even think they've said whether he'll play or not. He will be limited severely with just because it's breathing, it's your lungs. You don't want to mess with that. The good news, or semi-good news, is that Tua should be back this week. Now, it's good news and bad news. I have Tua on like three teams. I picked him up in IR on another team, from IR on another team. And Tyreek Hill was even tweeting out, put me down in your fantasy teams. Tua's back. Then today, reports came out that Tyreek is limited with a foot injury. So, good news, Tua back. Bad news, Tyreek might be limited. But even a limited Tyreek with a Tua has to be better than the Tyreek that we saw last week in the zombie apocalypse, because that was no points. And I play Tyreek, so I know of where I speak. Here's the thing. I will not be able to watch any game Tua plays in, because I will be afraid that he's going to get hit again in the head, and I cannot watch that. But that being said, he's supposed to be wearing that special helmet that looks kind of like a turtle shell on top of your head with soft stuff on it. But it's good because it protects his head. So I say fire up Tua. I mean, there's no buys this week. So you have all the quarterbacks, but you also have Mason Rudolph, Gardner Minshew, Rattler. The quarterback pool isn't looking that great. CJ Stroud last week went 10 for 21 for 80 something yards on passing. That's I don't even understand that. I don't. That's kind of like my score of 32 points. It doesn't really compute in my head that happened. Uh, 10 for 21. He only attempted 21 passes and only completed 10, and he only got 89 yards. If anyone can explain that to me, I would like that. I mean, I know that his offensive line wasn't helping much, and I know that Nico Collins is gone, but it's CJ Stroud. Come on now. He's good. He's great. I mean, there were only three quarterbacks that passed for 300 yards last week, and two of them, Josh Allen, yeah, Baker Mayfield has been having a renaissance, so to speak, but the other one was from a team that is supposed to be a run-first team, Justin Herbert. So Justin Herbert passed for like over 300 yards last week. One of the three people that did it. If you had him, congrats. Like, if you didn't play him, like, because you thought they were going to be a run-first team and J.K. Dobbins was going to be the smash play in that, again, I reiterate, zombie apocalypse, that didn't happen. It could have been also Freaky Friday, Freaky Sunday, Friday, whatever. But this week, again, J.K. Dobbins is supposed to be in a smash point. Do not, especially if you play DFS, do not let, when a player like disappoints you severely, don't treat it like your ex-boyfriend and ex-girlfriend and just like ghost them. All right, because this is like football, and it could be good. They could be better this week, and J.K. Dobbins should be better this week. So forget about the zombie apocalypse. And I tell you, when you read the article and make this drink, it's going to be really, really easy to forget about the zombie apocalypse because this drink will probably knock you on your ass. So do your lineup first, maybe. Do your lineups for the week first. Read the article, do lineups for the week first, and then drink the zombie drink because otherwise I will not be held responsible for the decisions that you make once you're on the drink. It could be interesting but enlightening. The second article is on the Gridiron Experts Network or blog, and it's about sleepers. So there will be a sleeper in every position. And on that one, I'm actually maybe hitting like 50%, maybe 63%, which I will take on an article. I will take on an article that says play the sleepers, especially now. Um, Now the term sleepers is a very loose term because there's so many injuries that it is really, and I hate to be that cliche person, but it is really next man up mentality. It's if you had any of the wide receivers that went down, like I have both Evans and Godwin in a league in two different leagues. I had Tua, who, as I said, should be coming back from IR, so that's a good point. Um, think about the residualness. So, is Baker Mayfield going to be as good as he's been without Evans and without Chris Godwin? Because Chris Godwin is just killing it. You have to keep those points in mind too, all right? Because it's that trickle down theory that was a good policy thing, but not so great policy thing. So it applies to fantasy football too. All right. Now, I want to discover quickly. Last week, Steph Diggs got into a pre-game scuffle with Jair Alexander, and his reply was when he was asked about it, is "I am never the bigger man." I think that should be a T-shirt. That is awesome. That Stephon Diggs realizes that he is never the bigger man is just quality. If you know yourself, you know yourself, and he's never the bigger man. It's cool. We're good. We're good with that stuff. Just don't get hurt. Just keep playing. Just keep playing. All right. On to. I'm going to reiterate one more time. Go vote, please. Please, please, please. Go vote. Go vote. Go vote. Go early vote. Do a ballot. Go inside. Oh, which reminds me. So this is off the side. Sorry about this. This is kind of a semi rant. The place where I vote is a library, like I said, and it's in one of the rooms. And so the room has windows on my left side, and you can either vote on a computer or you can vote like the ballot, the write-in ballot. For whatever reason, the write-in ballots are underneath the window, and the computers are on the opposite side of the window. So there's a glare when you're voting. It's like crazy. It's the craziest thing. Like I was like moving all around trying to see it. I mean, I got it in and I got what I wanted, but maybe they should switch that around. But they were really nice and they were really friendly, and I didn't want to say anything. So I am not. I was just happy that they had early voting and that there were people in there voting, and it's great. Do it. Just do it. I agree, Dynasty Football King. All right, so tonight's game. Let's talk about tonight's game. Minnesota Vikings at Los Angeles Rams, which I am calling the Sean McVay versus the Brian Flores game because Sean McVay, as we all know, is a great offensive coordinator. Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator, and they're going to go head to head. Everyone's going, oh, it's like the Kevin O'Connell versus Sean McVay. Kevin O'Connell is offense, Sean McVay's offense. They're not going against each other. That's just crazy. Obama's in Atlanta and Georgia right now. Man, we didn't get Obama or Eminem or Beyonce, who's supposed to be in Houston. We didn't get any of those people here in Colorado. I'm going to be a little salty about that. And I mean, I know we're not a swing state. Sorry, but we should have gotten somebody here. I would say, but I'm glad they're in Atlanta. I Oh, thank you. If you guys haven't seen it yet, Google Obama Detroit rally where he raps to like the first chorus of Eminem's "Lose Yourself" because Eminem introduced him. It's the greatest thing ever. It made me smile. Like even if you do not like either of those people, if you don't like Eminem or Obama, if you know Eminem's music and you know the "Lose Yourself" lyrics, and it's the way he goes into it is awesome. And Mary J is coming to Colorado. Sweet. Oh, Mary J. Blige. Still not the same. I didn't have Michelle or Obama. But do yourself a favor, Google it. It's just awesome. That man is so smooth. It hurts me how smooth he is. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Do it. But anyway, where was I? Tonight's game. Minnesota is a 3-point favorite at the Rams, which to me I I don't know. I think that's a little low. 3 points. I mean, Minnesota has been frightfully good, and Rams have been frightfully bad. And I'm assuming that they got the bump because Cooper Kupp is supposed to be back, which we'll discuss in a minute. But Minnesota's a 3-point favorite. I've seen the over under go from like it's depending on what site you're on, and that's another thing when you're betting. Shop sites, get your best odds from 45 to 48, which is ambitious. 48 is ambitious, I think, for that game, even with Cooper Kupp back. Um, three, 3 point, 3 point favorite on the road. I think even with Cooper Kupp back is a little low for Minnesota. But here's the thing: if you're betting touchdowns, Minnesota is 6 for 6 in first team touchdowns, which means 6 teams they've played, they have been the first team to score a touchdown. It's 100%. 100%. The Rams are 1 for 6. So in the 6 teams that they played, only one time were they the first team to score a touchdown, which means two things. A, they aren't that good, actually, or they start off slow. They start off slow. And B, you probably don't want to start off slow against Minnesota. If Sam Darnold is cooking on all levels, you have Justin Jefferson, you have Naylor. There was rumors that TJ Hawkinson might be back, but I don't think he will be. If you're betting first team touchdowns, Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, or Naylor. I think the odds are like 1,300 if you do that bet, which is pretty good for what you're given. 16.7% for the Los Angeles Rams isn't really that good a bet. However, you have to remember that they're playing without Cooper Kupp. So now Cooper Kupp is back in. The odds for that are going to be astronomical. If you have like $5 or so, that Cooper Kupp and the Rams score first, I don't think it's that crazy of a bet. There are rumors that the Rams are shopping Kupp, which would explain my next thing. Cooper Kupp on underdog, 6.5 receptions, higher or lower. If the Rams are shopping Kupp and he's playing tonight, that means they're trying to show teams A, that he's okay, and B, how good he is. 6.5 receptions is so low. Like, I would bet double-digit receptions if he stays healthy. That's if he stays healthy, which he has to if they're shopping him, because otherwise no one wants a broken Kupp. I mean, I just started that. But 6.5 receptions higher and 48. If you can get 48, I honestly don't see that score going higher than 48. That's so ambitious for. That means you think if the Rams are pushing Minnesota, which is also an ambitious thought. I don't think that will happen, but I mean it could. I'm not saying that you should not do it. I'm just saying you should be cautious if you're going to do it because This game could be a game where they're just peppering Cup. Rams are just peppering Cup. Flores is ready for it. You know he's going to be ready for it. You guys, I'm really impressed with Brian Flores' defense, and what Kevin O'Connell has done with Sam Darnold is pretty impressive too. I just don't think the Rams can keep up with that, even with Cup back. Matthew Stafford under pressure. He's not as mobile as he used to be. He's not as young as he used to be. None of us are. I don't see really good things happening for the Rams. Although, again, we're talking Sean McVay, who is an offensive genius, unlike the Miami Dolphins coach, who came out of a bye and could not get Tyreek Hill the ball. That is disturbing. I don't care who the quarterback was. That's disturbing to me. Do not call him an offensive genius. Do not put his name. Do not speak his name with Sean McVay's name ever again, because they're not in the same ballpark. It was evident. This is the year of the coach and the offensive coordinators, and it's evident which ones are excelling and which ones aren't. Which brings us to the Colorado Denver Broncos. Ramon's favorite team. Ramon loves the Broncos, which he lives here in Denver. I get it. He's a tried and true fan. Like when they're playing bad, he loves them. When they're playing good, he loves them. And they are playing good. And this week, they go against Carolina Panthers, who are an atrocious team. And rumor has it that Bryce Young will be the starting quarterback because Andy Dalton was in a car accident. Not a really bad one, apparently, but maybe he broke his thumb or hurt his thumb. But the crazy thing was they were telling everyone he was in the car. So apparently his whole family, I don't know where they were going. Maybe they were fleeing Carolina because the team is so bad. But he even had his dog in the car. It was like his wife, his kids, his dog. They were all in the car when the accident happened. Everyone's okay, except Dalton, who will not be playing today or Sunday. So Denver Broncos play great against bad teams, which should not be a surprise, except that Denver Broncos aren't supposed to be a great team either. So you would think the two bad teams playing against each other would give you like just a putrid game. But here's the thing: Denver Broncos just smacked New Orleans Saints last Thursday. I mean, smacked them. And a lot of it was, if you watch the game, the Saints defense was, I don't, making lots of business decisions on the field. Let's just say that. They weren't, tackling wasn't their strong suit, as we'll say, and it hasn't been their strong suit for a couple of weeks. It wasn't their strong suit when they played Tampa Bay either. So, but the Panthers aren't much better. Their defense is better than the Saints. Their offense is not. Javonte Williams should absolutely go off in this game. Like he's up in altitude. He has increased his snap counts. He's averaging like 63% snap counts now on the field. They tried, you could tell, they tried to have someone else be running back one, and they all faltered terribly. Javonte Williams should go off. Now, I say this after the zombie apocalypse week. So last week, J.K. Dobbins should have gone off, and it didn't happen. Last week, should have been a wide receiver week, but it wasn't. So, we're playing with an oblong ball, and those things happen. But Javonte Williams, and I wouldn't be too upset with the Bo Nix, Javonte Williams, Cortland Sutton, the squeaky will gets noticed, or whatever that saying is. Stack if you're playing large format GPP. I mean, I don't know it's only Thursday, so it could be that stack gets high percentage, but I don't think it will, because I don't think people believe in the Broncos yet. But again, they're playing the Panthers. They're playing the Bryce Young-led Panthers. And this means, I mean, no disrespect to Bryce Young, but he's just not that good, or he hasn't been that good. And I I hope that Patrick Surtain is back, and that would just make it that much worse for Bryce Young. And I hope, being a Steeler fan, that the Carolina Panthers do the right thing by Deontay Johnson and just get him out of there. Just send him to a team that, I don't know, has a prayer of making the playoffs, or at least has a prayer of getting him the ball where he can touch it, where he can score, where he can make some points, where he's happy. Because right now, that man's not happy, and I don't blame him. I'm not happy. I don't have any Deontay Johnson in any league, but as Nick Steeler, we want to take care of our own that we had, even when they leave us, and he didn't leave us willingly. So yeah, Deontay Johnson. And as you all know, DeAndre Hopkins is now a Kansas City Chief. I do not know how much he's going to play. I do know that he came out on Twitter and said that he hasn't played meaningful ball in a few years. Now, I'm not sure how to take that. DeAndre Hopkins last week said that he was happy in Tennessee and didn't want to be traded. This week, he is traded and is now a Kansas City Chief. And he said, I haven't played meaningful ball in a few years. I don't know if that means he hasn't put his full effort in, or if he's saying that because of the quarterbacks that he had to play with, he wasn't good. It wasn't good for him. I'm not sure how to take it. But however you look at it, it's an upgrade for both the Kansas City Chiefs and for DeAndre, for Hopman, whom I think probably has one of the best hands in the league. So if he plays this week, I'd be cautious. But, I said the same thing last week on Cooper Amari with the Buffalo Bills. I didn't think he'd play that well with the touchdown. He didn't even know how to line up. Like Keon Coleman, which, another side, another thing you need to Google, Keon Coleman's Niagara Falls commercial. That kid's crazy, and I love him. He's just insanely Keon Coleman, and it's great. And you'll notice that he uses Marshawn Lynch's one of Marshawn Lynch's catchphrases in it. It's awesome. Keon Coleman had to show him where to line up and had to show him where to go, and he still caught a touchdown on it. So fire up Amari Cooper. I mean, why wouldn't you? And fire up DeAndre Hopkins if he's going to play. Apparently, knowing the playbook isn't really a prerequisite if you're really good, and if you're on a decent team with a decent quarterback, which begs the question: if you know the playbook and you're on a bad team with a bad quarterback, Deontay Johnson, talking to you, get out of there. Get out. He's not like this. He only signed a 1-year deal. Come on, Carolina, do the right thing by him. Let him go. We should start a thing where we say on Twitter, let him go. Release Dante. Free Dante is what I'm saying. And one more player that you should keep an eye out on that will probably not make it into the article that I'm writing, but Najee Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers running back. Dude, last 2 weeks, he has been un-Najee-like, which means he is scoring new fantasy points. Because for the first 4 weeks, he was Najee-like. Najee Harris isn't explosive, isn't that really efficient. He's just good, if that makes sense. And now he is just making me fantasy. If you held on to him, which I hope you did, even when he was, doing you wrong, it's time to fire up Najee. I don't even want to mention the quarterback's name because it makes me sad that they sat Justin Fields. But RW, he did good last week, and I think the fact that he can throw those moon balls down to Pickens is just opening up for Najee. So again, another kind of crazy stack. You could do Russell Wilson, Najee, and Pickens. And here's you guys probably know this because you guys are probably way better at betting than I am. But according to the sim, the best 2 stacks for tournaments are quarterback, running back, or an overstack of a game. So if you're doing a quarterback, running back, or you overstack a game, you have greater odds at succeeding in your DFS lineups. That's from me to you. Um, I just read that somewhere or heard that somewhere. So I just wanted to pass that on. Now, before I leave, because I am going to hit the 33-minute limit because I know how to do it. Um, if you are watching on YouTube now or in the foreseeable future or in the non-foreseeable future, please do me a favor and hit the like button. If you are a betting person, as most of you probably are, you need to listen to the B League Show. I don't think it's called that, but it's on Going for Two Network. He does 15 minutes at the max. A, he has a great Australian accent, so it's okay listening to him. And B, he's like running, I think, high 70% on pick'ems and your prop bets, and he gives you very, very good props. You can go to Going for Two, and it's live. His show, I can't tell you when it hits because it's hit or miss. Like sometimes it's on Wednesday, I think, and sometimes it's on Thursday. It's just whenever. Also, just go to the Going for Two network for do believe I do believe that if anyone versus the Panthers a lot. Javante. I think Javante Williams, the running back for Broncos. I think he's a lock. I would I think he's like a free space in your DFS lineups or any lineup that you have. And if you're in Denver, apparently the tickets are cheap for the Sunday game. What? That's crazy. Well, not really. That is kind of crazy though. And I don't know what he means by cheap. But yeah, Dynasty Football Key, Javante Williams, lock. Free space, do it. Put him in there. I would. He is like the only core player in him and that's not true. Him and Brees Hall are my two. This is a running back week, I think. So you have like 4 or 5 viable running backs who are home favorites, double digits, and you have one or two that are road favorites. I think Derrick Henry is like road their 9-point favorite. Holy fuck me, Ramon! I don't know, like Mr. Moneybags. $120 is not cheap for me. I don't know about you. Apparently for you it is, but it's not cheap for me. I can't do that. Plus, I hate going games live. So yeah, I want to thank you all for listening and putting up with my nasally voice and my dog chewing on his new bone that I got him. She's crazy. And one more time, I just want to say 2 things. One, Going for Two Network. I do believe the Armchair Fantasy Show is doing their Halloween show this week, maybe. Whenever they do their Halloween show, you need to watch it because they dress up and they're just ridiculous and it's beautiful. Also, Going for Two on your underdog promo, up to $1,000 match. And the third thing is, of course, get your ass out there and vote. I don't care who you vote for. Not true. I do care. But even if you vote for someone I don't want you to vote for, I just want you to vote. I just want people to be a part of the process, please. Be a part of this. Be a part. Just be a part. Just do it. Please do it. Early voting, do it. And again, thank you guys for joining me. I wish you all good luck. Ramon, bless you, my son, my good friend. Dynasty Football Key, thank you for joining. Terry TV, thank you for joining. Jesse Patterson, we'll see you later. Thank you for joining later. I appreciate all you guys, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye. Go vote. 34 minutes, you guys. I missed it by a minute. What?